Why is it that people, even nowadays, pay so much attention to the church? Is it that they don't know what they're speaking about? Or is it that they don't know who they are speaking about? The main question would be, what is technically the church? Why is it that people give it so much importance? Well, as of what I see, the church is, well, nothing else than a piece of irrelevant information. Or let's call it meaning. The church itself does not define the people, irrespective of what belief we believe in. Because if we are to take the church, it is either written with a small letter, right, at the beginning, which depicts the building itself, or the church as an organization, which is written with a capital letter. And a capital letter usually shows that someone really needs attention, right? Only then you really want your name or your institution or something to be written with a capital letter, right? Now, the church itself is an organization. An organization means a bond in between people, a set of rules and regulations in order to preserve a set of friendships, or let's call them relationships. So, a professional relationship, let's call it so, but with rules and regulations. But considering the world has been ruled because of its ignorance, the point is, when you create rules, they are only meant to be broken when it comes to ignorance, because ignorance doesn't care about anything. So why would it care about any rule, right? When it comes to the church, what I see in the church is nothing else than a set of meanings. Because people are giving meaning to literally everything, because they're still so interested in playing this game in which we run away from ourselves. We don't want to explore our intellect, our emotions, our energies of life, and the such. And we're just interested in giving power to everything and keeping ourselves distracted as much as possible, because this is part of the game that we seek to play. Now, it doesn't mean that this game can be played indefinitely. But the point is, the church, as I see, is nothing else than a building. And a building is a set of blocks, right, of bricks put one on the other. And, well, built in a shape, right, in an architecture, which our forefathers chose. Most likely, we in the present don't have any link to the construction of that building. Or maybe we could, because, well, there are churches which have been built right now in the present, right, in these days that we live in. But ultimately, the church does not define anything. The church does not define your sense of divinity. It does not define your sense of religious perception, right? Your religious beliefs. And it also does not define its people, right? Because the church in itself, in its meaning, is a separation. Because there are people who don't believe they are part of divinity, right? They are part of the divine, or the part of creation, as I prefer calling, and they seek someone else who can link them to that. That someone is wearing some, ritualistic clothing, right? Which depict that they are something, but something, that title, right? A priest, a higher priest, or whatever. It is still meaning that we created in this game of running away from ourselves and seeing how many others we can call on, to give them our power, right? To further distract ourselves from who we are. So it doesn't matter what clothes you wear, right? Because ultimately, if your character is rotten beyond those clothes, your title is already irrelevant. So the point is, it will only make a relevance to the faint-hearted, to those who are weak-minded, because they are the only ones who seek meaning. Someone who transcends the mind simply doesn't find any necessity in meaning, only that it is needed to at least try to make yourself understood, the way I put things. So, when it comes to the church is basically just like a layer of clothing. It doesn't matter anything about what happens around it or inside of it, because it is just a building, just like your apartment. It doesn't matter what people do inside or what people do outside. The meaning that that apartment has belongs to those who, well, let's say, use it, right? Because your apartment is all nothing else than a matter of subjectivity, right? A thief will find it probably as a good prey or a bad prey, especially if they have some knowledge about you, and especially if they know that, well, you don't have great possessions that they might acquire. To your neighbors, it might be a place of worship if they enjoy being in your company, in your house, or it can be a place of discontent, right? If they hate you for what you have bought, for what you have achieved, or they simply hate your house because it is not theirs. Reasons are thousands. Now, there is also a difference, right? Because, well, to someone who doesn't know you, it simply doesn't have any importance. The same is for religion. And, well, the same is for the church. People who frequent it, well, find it as a home, find it as a place of worship, or whatever that suits their needs, right? The ones who support the belief, let's say the priests, also find it as either a place where they can exact their power, be it in authoritarian ways, in manipulative ways, or be it in pure ways. That is up to them and to those who also follow them. And at the same time, it could be just a place where they practice what they like. So it's not necessarily something which is beyond them, right? It is just something that, allows them to gain some money in a fashion that they like and, well, win a plate on their table and, well, fill it with the food they need to survive each and every day till the next salary. But at the same time, the church can be, an enemy stronghold, because those who do not support your belief are automatically your enemies. And a place where you worship something different than other people's beliefs can easily be, well, a place of the enemies, right? Because those who are very weak-minded, those who are very prone to separation, they will see everyone else who doesn't believe or think, well, believe in what they believe in and, well, think the way they think. Everything else and everyone else is just the enemy, right? It's one of the principles of separation. So, you see, everything is just a set of meanings, and meaning is highly subjective. So, religion itself also has a meaning, right? It is a set of ideals. You see something in this world as superior than you, and you wish to become a part of it, or you wish to follow its examples, right? Like we would be prompted to see in the examples and the history, for example, of Jesus Christ. There is nothing I'd have with this, right? There is no problem with the such. I do not condemn any religious beliefs. It's just that some are usually, deployed in hideous ways to simply rule people or to, scam them of their money. It's been like this for so long. Now, when it comes to meaning, the point, again, as religion speaks, is that the problem with it is that it's just separation. When you go to the church, it is a form of separation because you are forced to see the priest as someone who's more divine than you. But you bear the same divinity. You both came from the womb of a woman, right? From the womb of a woman, right? Your mothers gave you birth. So you're part of creation as much. It's just that giving titles is a part of this game, and many people still enjoy playing it because, well, it's a good distraction from who you are and from our inner responsibilities. Whoever joins, or let's say embarks on the spiritual path, they know that the spiritual path is loneliness, because spiritual path is about discovering that which is inside you. And inside you there is only your voice. There is that voice of reason. There is that voice of your emotions, or whatever you may call it. It is different voices that speak as, part of you. But if there is something else or someone else in there, most likely that someone needs an exorcism, right? Or, I don't know, they might need some psychological treatment. There may be such cases. But ultimately, your spiritual so-called path is yours. You don't need religion that much to tell you that you are separate from God and you can only achieve your connection to God through someone else, because technically that's what a priest would be, thanks to a lot of general, or let's say common beliefs, that you are not holy, right? You are born as a sinner, right? And only the priest can exempt you from your sins. It is just meaning that we're playing with. Now, I'm not condemning religion and especially Christianity, even if at the same time I see it as a plague of humanity, but it is only a tool, and some have chosen to use it as a plague towards humanity, and well, the majority have simply allowed it. So it is neither side's fault. If you allow something to happen to you, well, you're also part of it, right? So stop giving meaning to things that, don't actually have meaning. We're just playing a silly game. The point about the church is that, well, both as an organization and as a building, they don't have any influence on your spirituality, right? People say religion is for those who are afraid of hell, right? And for those who are afraid of dying. Because, well, Christianity and all these institutions and powers that sought to dominate and rule, they are built by narcissists because they want utter control. So they don't care about anyone else. Why would I give meaning to something like that, right? So all this being said, you're appreciated. Take care of yourselves and, well, become more introspective and you'll see the answers are there. Take care, have fun, enjoy life.